You can go live right from the camera, but this might not be the best way to live stream with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. In this video, I'll show you 3 different ways you can use your Osmo Pocket 3 in your live streams. Hi, I'm Aaron Parecki. I'm a big fan of tiny cameras, and I really do like the Osmo Pocket 3. One of the new features in the Pocket 3 is the ability to plug it into a computer as a webcam. So first I'm going to show you what it's like to use the built-in live streaming feature on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. First, in order to live stream with the Pocket 3, you do have to download the DJI Mimo app onto your iPhone or Android device. Once you download the app, turn on the Pocket 3 and press this, and it'll start looking for a device. Here, it's going to pair with my Pocket 3. It's going to take a minute, which is the first problem. It's going to join the Wi-Fi, and eventually this is going to boot up and we should see the Pocket 3 in the phone. I'm doing this in real time so you get a sense of what it's actually like to use the iPhone app. There we go. Now we can actually start a live stream. So you scroll over here to the live stream section, choose where you want to go live. I'm going to choose YouTube for now. Start live stream settings. This is going to make me then log into my Google account, which I've already done once to test. And this also takes a while to set this up for some reason. You'll also need to actually give the Pocket 3 a connection to your Wi-Fi, in which case I've already connected that once. Give your live stream a title. We'll do unlisted for now, stream at full HD. And I actually got logged out. I apparently need to log in again. So now we're going to go connect to YouTube. I'm logged in and now I can start. Finally, I'm actually live on YouTube, except I'm not actually live. And that's the first problem with this method. Let me go show you the YouTube studio. Here I'm in the YouTube studio, and here is the stream that it created. It's called test. It is receiving data from the camera. However, I'm not actually live. Notice that it didn't check the auto start button, which is fine, but it also hasn't actually pressed the go live button. So to actually go live on YouTube, I have to then open up my video in the computer, wait for this to load and recognize the video feed. Sometimes YouTube glitches out and shows that again, even though it's already got a video feed. And now I can actually press the go live button. And just like that, I'm finally actually live. Again, the YouTube Studio doesn't always show you a real preview of what's going on. So let's go pop over to the actual video and see what it looks like. Looks good. I'm actually live on YouTube from the camera. So that was a bit of an ordeal. And even now that it's done, it's still got a couple of issues with this method. Remember, the Pocket 3 did connect to my Wi-Fi, which is good. The only saving grace here is that if the iPhone app crashes for some reason, or if I just put my phone to sleep, the stream doesn't stop. We actually are streaming from the Pocket 3 to the Wi-Fi that you've connected to. But if there's any problems with that Wi-Fi connection, the camera will the feed will just stutter. So you're completely at the mercy of the Wi-Fi connection. One of the other really big limits of this is that all you get is the camera feed. On YouTube, all I can see is the live camera feed. I don't have the ability to add graphics. I can't add a countdown timer at the beginning. I can't cut to a title card. There's no flexibility. It's just the video feed. And it's really hard to tell when you're actually live on YouTube when you're using any of these kind of devices that stream directly to YouTube. I really prefer to have a countdown timer start, and that way I can test the stream. I can go look at it on YouTube. I can go take a look over here, see that I'm actually receiving the countdown feed on YouTube. And then eventually, once I'm ready, I can cut the camera away from the countdown timer, go live, and I know that I'm going live exactly when I'm ready to say hi. Another weird problem with this is as soon as I end the stream, if I go here and actually end the live stream, watch what happens to the phone. Live stream complete, great. And now I'm completely disconnected from the Osmo Pocket and I have to reconnect all over again. It's like starting from scratch. So honestly, it's not really that useful to go live from the Osmo Pocket directly to YouTube. A slightly better approach is to stream from the Osmo Pocket to an RTMP server in your studio, like the Magewell Pro Convert. The Magewell Pro Convert is a little box that has an Ethernet jack and either a SDI or HDMI port for output. This can convert video from a lot of different network protocols to a physical output like an HDMI or SDI port. Even though this device is called the NDI to SDI model, it actually supports a lot of other protocols other than NDI as well. And the important part for this video is that it actually has a built-in RTMP server. So you can push to this just the same as you can push to YouTube. Any device that you have in your studio that can push an RTMP feed to YouTube, you can then point it at this device instead. So I've already got one in the rack here. And if I log into the web interface, I can create an RTMP server and give it a stream key. You can just go make a new one, make it RTMP push, give it a name, give it a stream key, and it'll show up here. So I've just given it a short key so I can type it in on my phone. And now we can go to the Osmo Pocket and configure this as a streaming destination. So I'm going to connect back to the Osmo Pocket, wait for this to connect to the Wi-Fi, join the Wi-Fi. And now that my phone's connected, I can scroll back over to the live stream section, click on custom RTMP, start the live streaming settings. And now I'm going to have to connect the Pocket 3 to my Wi-Fi again and punch in the RTMP server URL of the Magewell ProConvert. So I've already typed it in once, so remember it from last time, but I've got the IP address of the Magewell and I've got the stream key entered in there. We're going to try 1080p, but I have a feeling we might get some problems, and let's try smooth. Start the live stream and then see how it goes. This is the feed from the Osmo Pocket 3 streaming over Wi-Fi into the Magewell ProConvert that's in my rack there. Now the video feed might be a little bit stuttery because I still am at the mercy of the Wi-Fi connection from the Osmo Pocket 3. But the good news is this means that this video feed appears in the rack here just like any other camera. So now that the video feed's in the rack, I can add a title screen, I can add a countdown timer, I can add graphics, show comments over the top, and at the end of the stream, I can cut away to a title card. But this is choppy, so let's try 720 to see how that works. I'm gonna go ahead and end this live stream and start a new one, but the other problem is, of course, we have to go reconnect again from scratch. What? It was saved. What? Okay. So this time I'm gonna drop down to 720 and see how that works. Of course, it's gonna be not 1080. Live stream is going, and let's cut over to the feed for the ProConvert. So now we're looking at the 720 feed from the Pocket over Wi-Fi. Again, it's a little bit choppy still, not perfect, which is why I don't recommend this as the best option to live stream. This is a pretty constrained environment. I've got the Pocket 3 on the table here. The Wi-Fi hotspot is up in the corner of the room there, that little white circle on the wall. It's about as close as you can get to it, and I've got a pretty good environment here as far as Wi-Fi goes. There is some noise from the other neighbors' Wi-Fis, but it's about what you can expect in a city of any size. Let's cut back to the main feed because this is too distracting. So the other problem I have with this is that even once you get it all up and running, even if you had a perfect Wi-Fi connection, you still have the problem that you are forced to set up the live stream in the Mimo app. And that means waiting through all the delays of fiddling with the interface. And when the stream ends, it kicks you out completely and you're back to having to connect the device from scratch. Not a great experience, in my opinion. Why didn't it just stay connected? And one of the other frustrating things is that the continue live stream feature, you would think that it would just remember your settings and be able to push to the same server again. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. So if I scroll down here and go into the settings and scroll all the way down to continue last live stream, it's at least letting me confirm the Wi-Fi name and the RTMP URL that it's going to stream to. That's great. And I can hit continue and it will start streaming to that server. So I didn't have to use a phone to start that. However, it forgets that info pretty quickly. I've tried this multiple times and I've gone back in and it said, oh, I don't remember any of the settings. Sorry, enter everything again. And then you're forced to go back to the phone and set it all up from scratch. So as cool as it is that there is a built-in RTMP feature in the Pocket 3, it's unfortunately not actually that useful in practice. But the good news is that they added a new feature in the Pocket 3, which is that it can actually be a webcam into a computer or other device. So if you take a USB-C cable, you can plug it into the back and then it'll just look like a webcam. Let's go through that really quick and see how that works. So I'm gonna plug this cable in. It's already plugged into a device. Plug it in, and it's going to give me the option of either file transfer or use it as a webcam. So now that this is plugged into a device, it's showing me that it's a webcam at 30 frames a second. So in webcam mode, it's going to be tethered to the computer or device you're streaming from with a USB cable. So you'll probably want to get a long USB cable because the one that it comes with is not very long. At this point, you can plug it into your computer and stream from OBS, for example. Once it's connected to OBS, you can just go live like you would with any other camera connected into OBS. But there are other devices you can use to stream with USB webcams other than a computer. So if I take this USB cable and plug it into the YOLO box, I click webcam on the Osmo Pocket, and then it's showing up as a webcam, and there's the video feed. Now that I'm connected in here, I can cut to this just like it was a wired camera. So now that I've got the Osmo Pocket connected into the YOLO box over USB, this is a wired connection, so we shouldn't see any more stuttering like we did over Wi-Fi. On the YOLO box, I can combine this with other wired cameras like the other camera angles I've got in the studio here. And now I can cut to it just like any other camera. I can add graphics and overlays on the top, and I can stream to even multiple platforms. This means I can start my show with a countdown timer, and I can actually go live right when I mean to. So one of the other cool things about USB webcam mode is that it does actually support active track. So if I double tap on my face, it should enable active track, and it should be then tracking my face as I move around, and the gimbal is following me. So it's really good that that actually works over USB as well, because that, again, sometimes those kinds of features get disabled when these kind of cameras get plugged in over USB. The webcam mode, of course, also works with the smaller YOLObox Mini, and it works with any other device that can take a webcam in over USB. It also works just as well over USB into the May 12 Director Mini. I can go over here, add a new camera, click on webcam 1, and here is the video feed coming from the Osmo Pocket. I'll save that, and now I can cut to this just like it was another wired camera over HDMI. Here's an HDMI camera, HDMI, and I've got the USB webcam. And if I wanted to, I could even mix the audio from the webcam as well. To do that, the one trick with the Director Mini is that you have to change the mic one to use the USB mic instead of the microphone jack. And now that we've got that selected, we've got audio coming in from the Pocket 3. So there you have it, 3 different ways to live stream from the Osmo Pocket 3. And as you can tell, the built-in RTMP feature is sadly not my favorite option. I hope someday they can improve the app or improve a couple of these little features that make it not exactly right. Until then, at least the webcam mode is super solid. I've got another video on my channel comparing the Osmo Pocket 3 to the older model, the 2, which I was also a big fan of. So take a look at that if you're interested. And please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.